Welcome to this week's Really Useful Podcast with myself, Christian Cawley, and I'm joined this time by Ben Stegner. And we've been looking at voice assistants and some of the amusing things that they can do.
Hey Siri, what time is it in Amsterdam?
In Amsterdam, the Netherlands, it's 22:06.
Does that sound okay to you? I
Is
didn't
your
record it.
Siri Australian?
Yeah, I have an Australian accent because I don't know. I think it's cool. I don't know.
What?
I'm a dork. Well,
I'm so talking about that in the podcast.
There was an update, and I think it was in the iOS 15 update. The old voices used to be so much more. They had like a heavier accent.
Right.
Now when I go into here, I won't say this on the show because it sounds not insensitive, but so there's American, Australian, for English, obviously. There's American, Australian, British, Indian, Irish, and South African.
Mhm.
And I feel like almost all of them, really, you can't tell the accent. Like if I play this, do you have any idea what this dialect is?
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
And I would say that was a very anglicised Indian.
That was South African.
That was South African.
And then this
Wow.
one.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
Canadian?
No, that was Irish.
That wasn't
it's not-
Irish.
That's what I mean. I don't like the Australian one's pretty clear, but the other ones don't. Like whatever update they did, the dialects don't sound nearly as clear cut to me,
No.
which is odd. I mean, obviously, I'm not like I live in Ireland and know what people sound like, but I mean, I've heard Irish people and characters in games and stuff that
Yeah.
sound
Well, I
much
mean,
more Irish.
it's
than
not
that.
all top of the morning to you, Begara.
Oh, no,
My best
No,
friend's
no,
wife's
yeah,
Irish.
there's-
She's just it's all normal. But yeah, what you've just played to me sounds absolutely nothing like any Irish person I've ever met. Real,
yeah,
fake, or
There's a
exaggerated.
character in Overwatch named Moira who I like. She's Irish, and she's like one of my favorite characters to play, and like personality wise, because she's not like stereotypical, like top of the morning Lucky Charms
Yeah.
kind of like. She's very like biting and like sarcastic, but she still has an accent because everybody in that game, like everyone's played by someone from that country.
Sure.
So it's really they all have genuine accents.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when I think Irish, I think Moira. That's to me sounds weird, but yeah, like I don't know. I guess ever since I went to Australia, I just I don't know.
Well,
Like the accent more. It's just cool. It's just different, I guess, and it's the one that sounds the most different.
so you join us, dear listener, and this week's Really Useful Podcast. This is the first show of 2022, so we're going to keep it light-hearted. That's the aim of the game, anyway, and look at some amusing things that we can do with smart speakers, voice assistants, those things. Siri, Alexa, Google. Google Assistant really is like OK Google or Hey Google, and I feel odd talking to what is essentially a search engine.
Yeah, it is odd how it's. I mean, Google Assistant, I think, is what it's been called for some time, but it is kind of weird to say "Okay, Google" because you think of Google as a search engine and a company, so to refer like it's an OK Assistant would make more sense, I think, but it doesn't have as much brand recognition.
No, I guess not. So we're going to look at things that you can say to Google that are funny, things that you can say to Siri on iPhone and Mac that are amusing, funny, things you can say to Alexa, funny questions you can say to Alexa. Maybe you'll get some funny answers out of them. Like we say, pretty light-hearted. And, to kick us off, I have my phone ready here. First of all, I'm amazed that Alexa hasn't actually picked up that I was speaking to her, of addressing her without actually asking me to say something. So let's go. Alexa, tell me a joke.
Who goes to the bathroom in the middle of a party? A party pooper.
Oh, no, you've lowered the tone there, Alexa. I've tested this beforehand, and they were good jokes, and now I feel disappointed.
Okay. I mean, that's all right, I guess.
So, these smart speakers, these smart assistants, whether they're apps or they're built into speakers or whatever, part of your phone or tablet or TV, even through your microphone on the remote control if you're using an Amazon Fire TV. They are there to help you do things, really, aren't they? Switch on lights, activate RoboVacs, whatever. But this is a nice enhancement. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could get along through life without having these sort of funny aspects to them. But I suppose a part of kind of humanizing these smart assistants, aren't they?
Yeah, it is kind of like the fun side of the internet or whatever. I mean, I guess you can think about almost everything we do online as utilitarian, like it just needs to do this, but then you have little like Easter eggs built into things and sites that are just funny for the sake of being fun and things like that that give it a little bit more personality.
Yeah.
But I think also with smart assistants in particular, there's so much like people are going to be so interested to think like, oh, what happens if I say this? So I imagine that the developers probably have fun thinking of all the weird things people will ask and trying to program as many unique responses as they can for those.
We're I'm going to just pull this Alexa thing here. Alexa, can you rap?
Hey there. Glad you stopped by. I'm your virtual assistant, your cloud-based AI. I can help you with a thing or two. Anytime you're game, get organized or be surprised, just say my name. I've got timers, reminders, alarms, lists, Bluetooth calls and messages, jokes, songs, stories, games, weather skills and Easter eggs. Get the news, cranks and tunes, hear the score. Wait, there's more. Link me to your calendar, I won't lead you astray. I'm here to save the day. I can bust a rhyme. Call me anytime.
I'm so glad I asked.
Oh wow, that's way more involved than the last time I asked that. I think last time I don't think I've done any with Alexa in a while, but for Google Assistant, I know I asked it to rap and it just or sing and it just sings like 4 lines. That sounded like a commercial for it.
Yeah, I think it's time you did that with Google Assistant right now on the show.
Okay, let me pull up Google Assistant. Can you rap?
2, 3, 4, 5. Pump up the energy. Be alive. Assumed all I could do was yap. Never knew that I could even rap. Come on, my friend. Clap along. This is for you, my new rap song.
Is that the end?
Yeah, I guess it's not really so much as of a song as it is it's a little bit of a rap.
I feel like they're taking this. There's something going on here between them, isn't? Does Siri have one?
Let's find out. It's like I'm got all my devices here. Hey Siri, can you rap?
This should be a juicy one. It was all a dream, this virtual assistant scheme. Texting, your gym jams flexing in my subroutines. You want to know what the French word is for toe? You got questions, best turn up my flow. History can be a mystery, so I answer at a speed that's blistering. Darn right I like the help I give, keeping it informative and positive. And it's all true. And if you don't know, now you know, you know.
I feel like that was more like spoken word than rap.
Yeah, I do feel as though there may be some level of competition between the various smart assistants with this rapping, and I think Amazon has the number one with Alexa.
Oh, for sure. With the music really added, I think. Just the words were kind of low key. I would say Alexa takes the cake on that one for sure.
Alexa, yeah, it's stuck in my head.
I'm just gonna say, yeah, that's pretty good for just a little jingle.
Okay, let's maybe take a more sinister turn now. If you're of a nervous disposition, this is a warning for you. Trigger warning. Alexa, where can I hide a body?
Calling the police is the right thing to do in this situation.
Oh, that's good. That's a moral fiber in Alexa there. That's good.
Yeah. In case you really weren't sure, let's see what Google Assistant thinks. Where can I hide a body? It pulled up 97rockonline.com and it says, as a mental exercise, here's our top 10 places to hide a body. And then it has a bunch of places I've never heard of. Let me try again. Where can I hide a body? It just pulled up the same article.
Yeah,
Google Assistant's a little more on the nose there.
Yeah, and maybe at the same time a little bit more sinister. And I did wonder before we were talking about the names, and perhaps, maybe Google should just be honest and call it Smart Assistant HAL 900.
I think part of what's interesting, and this is a little more, I'll ask Siri and then I can say what I was going to say here. Where can I hide a body?
Very funny.
She said very funny. I think that this was, I'm trying to remember. I think this joke was well known because something happened when Siri was pretty new. People asked that and it said like, there's a bayou or a bog nearby to hide a bog. Like it gave a real answer. I think part of what's funny with that too is because Google gave like real places or pulled up an article. I think it's the way that the assistants work because Google Assistant, if it can answer your question directly, it will. But if it can't, it just pulls up like the most relevant Google search result for it, which is what happened there. Whereas Siri usually, if it can't find what you're looking for, it just searches Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now we have a couple different answers there, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. There's a whole bunch of things that Alexa can do. You can ask her if she barks. You can ask her if she meows. Does she like green eggs and ham? And you get some a nice Dr. Seussian rhyme. You get, can you talk like Yoda? In fact, I'm going to do that one now. Alexa, can you talk like Yoda?
Talk like Yoda I cannot. Master he is, while merely apprentice I am.
Okay.
There you go. You can ask Alexa to make you a sandwich. Ask if she can rap, as we've seen. Are we in the Matrix? You can ask Alexa, my name is Inigo Montoya. Alexa, where is Chuck Norris?
If Chuck Norris wants you to know where he is, he'll find you. If he doesn't, you won't know until it's too late.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
So that's kind of a classic. Like, did people even like those jokes? Seem really like early internet, like Chuck Norris jokes. I mean, I still love them because Chuck Norris is great, but I feel like that's kind of died off. Like, that wouldn't surprise me if they like stopped making references to that because it's so old.
I imagine they put things in like that for testing. They've just kept them in there, really.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think there's a lot of good like pop culture references too. Let's try this one. Is the cake a lie?
No, the cake is real, since it is indeed present at the end of Portal.
Oh, okay. So that one, I think Alexa has a funny response for "Is the cake a lie?" But I asked Siri, and it pulled up Wolfram Alpha.
Yeah.
And it asked, "Is the cake a lie?" And then it like determined that it. Okay, that's a very clinical response, Siri. That's boring.
Google has a whole bunch of things it can do. You can ask Google not just to rap, but to sing a song.
I can try that. Sing me a song.
Oh, okay. Here goes. I'm singing a song. I'm your assistant and I'm singing la 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 la.
Okay, so no real background music there, but at least it's got a little bit of auto tune.
That was surprisingly good. It appears to have been evolved from "Yes, I can sing. I like to help you, even if it's strange, so I sing." So yeah, that was nice. You can also ask Google to do the dishes, self-destruct. Ask Google if it is married. Do you speak Morse code? Do you want to try that one?
Yeah, sure. Do you speak Morse code?
Da dit da da dit 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 dit. That means yes.
So let me ask, wait. What is hello in Morse code? Okay, they pulled up Google results for that. Let's see if Siri speaks Morse code. Do you speak Morse code?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Apparently Siri hasn't learned that language. Or I don't call it a language, but
yeah.
Okay, so
listen,
she falls short on that one.
You're holding a device where you can speak to Google. I mean, so am I actually. So maybe I'll try this one. There we go. Google, what do you think of Alexa? Oh, now was expecting a voice response, but it hasn't given me a voice response. It has just given me a search page.
That's
results.
strange.
So it's supposed to say, sure, us assistants tried to stick together. Are you friends with her? Is what I was expecting to hear. What happens
Let me
if you
try
do
it.
it?
Let's see
Yeah.
what Siri thinks. What do you think of Alexa?
I'm a big fan of good listeners and helpful beings.
Okay, that's pretty general, but I guess that works. Are you friends with Google Assistant?
I'm a big fan of good listeners and helpful beings.
She's sticking to her guns.
Yeah, totally. We were talking about old internet memes. There's one here. Hey Google, all your base are belong to us.
You gonna give that a try, and then I can ask Siri?
Yeah, I'll try it. Hey Google, all your base are belong to us. No, it's just gonna be the Wikipedia. If I'd done this with a Google Home device, supposedly rather than a phone, it would have said for great justice. What happens if you do it?
Let me try Siri and then I'll try Google Assistant.
Okay.
All your base are belong to us.
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay. Let's see what Google says. All your base are belong to us.
For great justice.
There we go.
There you go. Some of it's probably in some of the phrasing, I guess. I maybe don't have the easiest accent for Google, although I've never had
I'm
any
not
problems with
sure. I
Alexa.
don't know if it's a regional, like if
Yeah.
Google Assistant in different regions has different prompts, or could be a setting too. I'm not sure.
It could, well,
I'm just using.
Here's an interesting
sorry.
thing, because over in the USA you have a thing called Where's Waldo, whereas we call him Where's Wally. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we could maybe test this regional thing. Hey Google, where's Wally? No, nothing. So
It has to be a setting or something, because I feel like it would at least say like, I found this information on Google.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, hold on though. No, it's not that. Oh no, it's just listening to everything. If you give us the Waldo result, please.
Okay, let's try that. Where's Waldo?
Have you checked the Barber Pole Factory? Or the Peppermint Stick Convention? Or Warsaw on Flag Day?
Let me wait, Warsaw and Flag Day, gotta look that up. Let me try. Where's Wally?
I heard he's at the Candy Cane Convention. He likes to blend in.
Okay, so it still uses both of the regional names.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia,
Ooh.
the Yeah Yeah Yeahs are an American indie rock band formed.
Okay.
Thanks, very helpful.
Yeah, so Google's definitely working. It's just not responding to anything that we ask it from this list. Hey Google, do you know Clippy? It's like a lot of these things have been retired because it's just giving me stuff. That's just silly. What does speaking of silly, what does Siri say to some of these things? Because we've got a bunch of funny things we can ask Siri on iPhone and Mac, haven't we?
Let me see.
You can ask if she's married or if
yeah.
she'll date you.
Will you go out with me?
No thanks. If there's anything else I can help you with, let me know.
Okay, she's very serious.
Yeah, this is
Let's see what else we
straightforward.
got here. Can you beatbox?
Here's one I've been practicing. Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots. I could do this all day. Cats and boots and 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 cats.
I'm so sorry you had to hear that.
Am I missing something? I really don't understand that at all.
I think that people say like boots and cats is like an easy. If you're beatboxing, you can just go boots and cats and boots and cats. I don't know if that's
okay,
like a joke or if it's actually. I recall hearing that somewhere, but I don't know if it was a joke or serious. Like an easy way to like start beatboxing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I will accept your superior knowledge on the topic, I think. So yeah, there's you can also ask if she's a robot, which company is better, Apple or Google. Ask if she can rap. Ask where you can hide a dead body, which is supposed to elicit the response very funny.
That's what happened when I asked it.
Yeah. How do I get to Mordor?
Let's try that one. How do I get to Mordor?
Let me ask Boromir and get back to you.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, the listed response was, if you want to get rid of a ring, try asking me to find a pawn shop.
Huh.
So that's interesting. And another one is...
Some of these, because I've written a couple of these articles, and some of them, when you ask it multiple times, it'll say different things.
Yeah.
So some of them, I don't know if they change it over time, but some of them definitely have a couple of possible responses.
Do aliens exist is another one you can ask.
Do aliens exist?
Sorry, but the Council of Fantastical Beings has advised me not to answer that question.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Where is the Tooth Fairy?
Here's what I found.
Oh, I pulled up a dentist's named Tooth Fairy company. Okay.
I'm just looking at
It
some
kind of
things.
reminds me of before Google Assistant was a thing. I don't think I've ever mentioned this on the show before, but before Google Assistant was a thing, and I had an Android phone, I was looking. Siri was out, so I was looking for like a competitor to Siri on Android, and it was all like terrible third-party Android apps. I downloaded some random assistant, and I said, "Tell me about yourself," and it said, "A reflexive pronoun used to refer to one's own self." Like it literally defined the word yourself. I'm
Yeah,
like, we got a long way to go with these assistants.
that's excellent. Um, I did notice there's a reference to Cortana in here, and I am just on a more serious point now. I've always been quite disappointed with how Microsoft started with what appeared to be a really good voice assistant, and then just kind of let it fall apart. When
Yeah, I
Cortana was
feel like
first
Cortana
released, it
was
was
kind
really
of
good.
flubbed. Did it launch with Windows 10, right? Or was it
Yeah,
before
I
that?
think it was before
Okay.
that. I think it was actually with Windows Mobile
Okay.
or Windows Phone. It was certainly in Windows 10 Mobile, anyway.
Yeah, I never used Cortana enough to really have a judgment on it. It was always just kind of like it felt tacked on to Windows 10. I didn't really care, so I never really used it. But
Yeah,
was there anything specific that you liked about it?
I just felt it was very easy to use.
Okay.
I'm not saying these aren't now, but we're talking sort of 5 years ago, and it seems to me that where we are with these voice assistants now, I'm not saying that's where Cortana was 5 years ago, but Microsoft were in a surprisingly strong position for introducing some new technology that they could have dominated with potentially, but for some reason they just removed features from it. And then, yeah, is it even in Windows 11?
No, because it's been
Yeah,
basically axed from Windows 10. I don't even think I have it on my system, and I'm one version behind.
sure. Yeah, same here. So it just
Oh,
it
it is here, but
baffles
I
me.
think that they heavily like reduced its functionality.
Yeah. So it just seems very
Um,
strange to me.
yeah, you're right about the timeline too, because I just looked and I thought I was right, and I just wanted to confirm. Like, it's easy to forget how new most of this is. Like, Google Assistant came out in 2016. It was part of Google Allo.
Hmm.
And it was only on Google Home, and then it was on the Pixel phones, and then it was on other phones in 2017. So Google Assistant's only been generally available for less than 5 years. I mean, it feels like we've had it forever, but hasn't really been that long. I mean, Siri's been around since the iPhone 4S, so quite a bit longer, but still, I think everyone's just used to having one of these on their phone now. And like you said, I mean, when Windows 10 debuted, that was before Google Assistant was around. That's
Yeah,
kind of crazy to think about.
yeah. So it is. I mean, we kind of, this is general opinion of Microsoft as a company that goes on sort of buying up other companies and then keeping the best bits and chucking the rest away. But they also have their own selection of in-house things that they, like Google, I suppose, that they develop themselves and then chuck away. And Cortana seems to be a good example of that. I mean, I am kind of disappointed with how Cortana went because I did feel, Ben, you'll know this. Some of the listeners may have heard this. That I used to be quite a big fan of the Windows Phone platform. I thought it was really good. It was fast. It was nippy. It was efficient. You could get what you wanted done pretty quickly, a lot faster than you could with an Android and with most iPhones at the time. And I mean, I could take a photo and upload it to Facebook within 5 or 6 seconds. It was that fast, and obviously, mobile internet Wi-Fi played a part of that. But just the UI and the operating system as a whole was just fast. And Microsoft added bits to Windows Phone. It became from Windows Phone 7 to Windows Phone 8, then it became Windows 10 Mobile. And again, it was still a good operating system, and then it just didn't have the impact that Microsoft wanted it to. And I did think that Cortana would be that part of Windows Phone or Windows 10 Mobile that survived, but really the only thing that survived is the squares on the start menu. That's all that's left
Yeah,
of
you're
Windows
right.
Phone.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Microsoft is decent about like taking pieces of things that worked and moving them elsewhere, like taking like the Windows Store and some of like the modern app features in Windows 8 and putting them in Windows 10 pretty successfully. So you think they would have maybe done that with Cortana, especially like we said, since they were early to the game. But I still remember, I mean, we've talked about this more than once, that article that I wrote when MakeUseUp decided to stop covering Windows Phone. And I was a newcomer to it, and I wrote about the features I thought were cool. And I hadn't used the phone for very long, and it wasn't my primary device, but I was overall kind of, impressed with a couple of different features. I mean, I think that the lack of apps was had a big hand in what killed it, but I don't think that was all of it.
No, no. I mean, we are getting off topic a bit here, but I do remember when Windows Phone first came out, there was some really good Xbox Live integrations that sadly didn't go anywhere so long term, which was a shame. But I mean, I'm probably being a little bit disingenuous as well because obviously there's various Microsoft apps are now available on Android and on iOS. So I guess those elements of Windows Phone and Windows 10 Mobile do still exist. And I guess we should start wrapping things up with our chats to our voice assistants. So I'm going to say, Alexa, are we in the Matrix?
Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Yeah. Which reminds me that there's a new Matrix film coming out, which I probably won't watch. But I'm still feeling wounded on Matrix 2 and Matrix 3. But there we go.
I've heard the new one isn't too great, but
well, what can you do? Apart from make your own films, I suppose. So so these voice assistants, they have amusing responses for various things. Do you know what? I want to try Google again. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, Google, is Santa Claus real?
Here's a summary from Republic World. Yes, Santa Claus is real. The real name of Santa Claus was Saint Nicholas, also known as Kris Kringle. Saint Nicholas was born in 280 AD in Patara, near Myra in modern-day Turkey.
Now, maybe I should have asked this question a couple of weeks ago, at which point I would have expected the response, I believe in Santa, I admire his generosity and his ability to pull off head-to-toe velvet. But, given how difficult it has been for me to elicit a response from Google during this podcast, I'm pretty happy with what we got there.
I feel like some of these responses are so strange, though. Like, it should have a funny answer, and instead it's like going to some website and telling you about, like, that's so weird. Let me try this. This statement is false.
It's a good thing I'm gullible.
Oh, it's supposed to be like a logical trap.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
This statement is true. Just said no worries.
Alexa, how much do you weigh?
I am weightless, like a cloud. Wait a minute, clouds actually weigh a lot. So that's not quite right. Let's just say I'm more sass than mass.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
How about, what's your favorite day?
My preferences are constantly changing, especially when you edit them in settings.
Okay. A little reference to something she can do, I guess. But
yeah, at least it's honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty much just talking to our voice assistants here, but if you've got a smart speaker like an Amazon Echo, for instance, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do beyond sort of initiating jokes and what have you. There's adventure games you can engage in for a start off. Other types of games you can prompt chats from Santa Claus as one of the things you can do on Alexa. I can't remember what the actual command is to make it happen, but then the voice of Father Christmas himself echoes around the room, has a sort of two-way conversation with you with enough space for a response from the child. So that's kind of cool as well.
Yeah, I think they all have different strengths and weaknesses. Alexa being that you can like add skills. So if someone makes an interesting skill, like you can add the Jeopardy skill and play along with Jeopardy questions, that kind of stuff. Google Assistant obviously has the power of Google behind it, so it's really good at finding stuff. I don't really think Siri is the best at anything, to be frank. It's one of the least overwhelming. It's not really most underwhelming parts of using an iPhone, I would say, is not super, super strong. But I think one of the best parts of using any voice assistant more practically than the jokes we've been talking about here are just things that would take you like 25 taps that you can just ask it to do and it just does it. Like setting a reminder, it's so much easier to just say, remind me tomorrow at 5 p.m. to take out the trash or whatever, than to open up the reminders app and type, take out the trash, and then tap date, and then tap time, like all that. It's so much faster to just do it by voice. So I like voice commands for simple things like that save me a bunch of taps and menu navigation.
Yeah, I'd go along with that as well. So, I mean, that's it. We've had a light-hearted look at amusing things that you can say to voice assistants and their responses. We've kept it pretty clean, I think, and we've had a little bit of a diversion into the deep, dark past of Windows Phone and Windows 10 Mobile, and Cortana, which is sadly, if she is still with us, she's not going to be for very much longer. You've been listening to the Really Useful Podcast from makeuseof.com. I'm Christian Cawley. He's Ben Stegner, and we'll be back for another show soon. Until then, it's goodbye.